can you feel the atomic energy in the room? Because all the way from Los Alamos, the Oscar-nominated cast of Oppenheimer is here. Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, and Robert Downey Jr. are with us. And don't worry. They left the nuclear waste known as Matt Damon at home. He will not be here tonight. We don't just let anyone in here. This isn't a Dunkin' commercial, you know. In Washington, D.C., our worst and dimmest are gathered for the annual CPAC convention. CPAC, for those who don't know, is a meeting of the right-wing, nuttiest Republicans in the country. Remember in Ghostbusters when all the slime was running to one building? Basically that, it's a who's who of who won't accept the results of the election. And the speakers, every year, a standard collection of Roger Stones and sloppy Steves and flat earthers and whatnot, with a few foreign dictators and accused sexual predators sprinkled in. But the bigly named today, the headliner was Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara, who's running for chairperson of the RNC and really has a way with the English language.
Never forget, ladies and gentlemen, that it is always darkest before the dawn. D-O-N, darkest before the dawn. See what I did?
Yeah, they don't, but we do. We get it. Anyway, go on.
I want my son to be proud of who he is. I want him to know that it's okay to be a patriot. It's okay to love God, and it is okay to grow up into a strong, masculine man.
That's right. Strong, masculine man, just like Daddy is. I mean, just like... Look at the rack on that dude.
Every night, Eric and I have a tradition. We stop whatever we have going on, and we go do bedtime with the kids. And while they say their prayers and the Pledge of Allegiance, of course.
What a sweet memory for your children to share with their therapist years from now. It sounds like something that would give you away as a foreign agent, like, then we do prayers and pledge good allegiance to American flag. All right, Boris, you're coming with us. But the Trumps, every night, they brush the children's teeth with hot dogs and they read them the lyrics to Kid Rock's Bow to Ba, and they go to bed, they sleep like babies. Speaking of bedtime, Dr. Ben Carson was at CPAC today.
While peaceful, pro-life protesters and patriotic grandmothers who walked into the Capitol on January 6th are facing a decade or more in prison. Think about that. Think about that.
That's his famous I'm in a dream speech. They should put his face on a box of Sleepy Time tea, you know? It's not only is CPAC a chance for people in red, white, and blue tracksuits to see their favorite con artists in person, it's also a chance to learn at seminars run by the best in the business.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next, putting our heads in the gas stove. Please welcome former administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Andrew Wheeler.
That's a real title of a session, putting our heads in the gas stove. People signed up to see that. There were a lot of weird discussions at this convention. When we thought it might be fun to see if you could tell the real ones from the fake. It's time to play real or fake CPAC session, okay? I'm going to read the name of a panel. You guess if it is real or fake. Are you ready? Real or fake CPAC session. Would Moses go to Harvard? All right, most say real, and it is real. It is real. All right, now. Straight white extinction. Is that real or fake? All right, let's see. That one is fake. We'll try another. What you talking about, Fonnie Willis? And most everyone says fake. That is real. Tinkerbell culture. Are fairy tales making our kids fairies? Real? All right, well, sorry, that one is actually fake, but illegally blonde, real or fake? Real. That is real. Catfight, Michelle versus Kamala, real or fake? Oh, you say it's fake, do you? Well, guess what? It's real. And then finally, Jagged Little Pillow, the rise of Mike Lindell. Real or fake? That is indeed fake, and we're going to get back to Mike in a minute because he might be in more trouble than Donald Trump right now. Although Donald Trump, his Majesty is scheduled to be the headliner at CPAC on Saturday. Last night, they showed part 2 of Trump's Fox News town hall, during which he was asked about the notable absence of his future ex-wife, Melania, on the campaign trail.
She loves the country. You know, when I do rallies, I have so many signs. We love our First Lady. The people love her. They love the fact that she's not out there so much. You know, a lot of First Ladies, we go out there, they want to be everywhere. They get angry at their husband because he's not introducing them. If I didn't introduce Melania, she'd be very happy about it.
In other words, you will not be seeing Melania anytime soon. I actually got a shout out from Donald Trump today. You know, every time I do an interview now, people ask me how much longer I'm going to do the show. And I was talking to the LA Times, and I said I didn't know if I would go beyond. I have a contract for another 2 years if I would go beyond that. And this apparently caught the attention of America's most famous Tangerine, who truthed they could get a far more talented person who would also get better ratings for 5% of what they are paying this loser with a capital L. And I gotta say, that is a hell of a way to find out you're not gonna be somebody's running mate, because it is, he has really, and I hope he never finds out, he has no idea how delighted I am by something like this. I'm gonna try to enjoy it because, you know, he probably won't be able to do this when they take away his phone in prison, so I'm gonna really, like, soak it in. Meanwhile, President Biden touched down in San Francisco last night, and everyone hold your breath. There we go. All right. Every time I watch him go down a flight of stairs, I get that same anxiety you get when you're like watching your kid trying to catch a pop fly. Biden, by the way, just canceled another $1.2 billion in student loan debt, which is a huge, huge number, especially for someone who went to college when tuition costs a sack of onions. But the big story about Biden today is about his dog. Have you heard about this? According to CNN, this is not a woo type of situation. Joe Biden's German Shepherd, Commander, was involved in far more biting incidents than was previously reported. Turns out Commander bit Secret Service agents 24 times. Which, I mean, even OJ only struck twice. 24 times is a lot. Are we sure this was the dog and not Hunter turning into a werewolf? Because since Biden became president, there have been 24 full moons. You know, it got so bad they had to send the dog to live with other members of the family. It's not at the White House anymore. You know, the Trump administration actually had to deal with a similar thing after multiple staff members reported being bitten on and about the neck by Rudy Giuliani. They had to send him away. They had to put an extra lock on his coffin just to be safe. You know, our old pillow pal, Mike Lindell, is having a terrible Black History Month. It's all kind of falling apart for Mike. And he even claims his autobiography is being banned.
Do you know my book is banned in every bookstore in the country?
No, I didn't know that. But I thought you guys were for banning books, which isn't. It's confusing. This memoir of his, it's been out since 2019, so it wouldn't make much sense if it was in bookstores. It's 5 years old. It wasn't exactly the Da Vinci Code, but the Venn diagram of people who are A, interested in Mike Lindell, and B, know how to read, it's a pretty small intersection. In fact, might only be one person, and that person is me, because I read his book cover to cover. By the way, pretty good, pretty interesting. I like that. And then there's the ill-advised contest he ran. Do you remember the Prove Mike Wrong challenge? 3 years ago, he offered $5 million to anyone who could definitively prove that he was wrong about Chinese interference in the 2020 election. Of course, somebody did it almost immediately. The guy was like, yeah, I got a free half hour, and he proved it. And now Mike has been ordered to pay him the $5 million.
They're trying to put Trump, you, and Rudy in bankruptcy.
Well, you might all see the news this morning. Another ruling came out of Minnesota against me, $5 million, which we'll got to go to another appeal. And a big distraction, waste more money.
Poor Mike. He still can't believe it's not butter. He's that adamant about his beliefs. The ruling was handed down by Judge John Thunheim, who's a very well-respected judge. He got his law degree from Jiffy Pop Haircut University. Not only was it a blow to Mike financially, it also doesn't bode well for his new prove there ain't a little man inside the ATM handing out the money contest. And yet still Mike's out there screaming about the machines and promoting fellow election deniers like this guy who's running for Congress in Arizona.
Damn darn birds are so darn angry. Howdy, I'm Mike Lindell, patriot, entrepreneur, and owner of a boat that's got ransacked 9 times by Minnesota game wardens. Blake Masters is an author, a scholar, and a real man who ain't afraid to tell a woman to shut her yap about equal pay. Thanks, Toots. Hey, and a slice of lemon meringue, too. It's the forbidden pie. Anyway, old BM is a heck of a good one. He's even endorsed by Donald Trump. A man I love, even though I am no longer allowed to get within 500 feet of. Big Alaska ain't afraid to take the hard side of an issue, which is why he bravely supports the Russian President Voldemort Putin taking back Ukraine. But where me and Blake really sees eye to eye is when he says a Unabomber Ted Kransky was an underrated genius. I'm a big fan of that guy's manifesto. Read it every time I'm driving. Ted didn't trust the government and hated machines, just like me. So vote for blank McMasturbators and join the fight against gays marrying our kids and paying lady broads like a man worker. Where's that darn waitress with the...
Paid for by the Commission to Keep Arizona a Punchline Forever.
Meringue!
I'm Blake Masters, and I approve this message. Sir?
I love you.
Ta-da-da.